Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of GIS Answers. Today what we'll be looking at is some data that I've downloaded from the city of Aspen. This includes 2020 realistic buildings, tree trunk from 2020, those are points, tree canopy from 2020, and Aspen buildings from 2020. I haven't looked at this data, so this is going to be new, and I've just loaded it into the scene viewer. Please subscribe to the channel if you like these videos and like the videos, and I'd appreciate your support. Thank you. So we'll just get right into this. I have no idea what to expect. I've just loaded these layers from ArcGIS Online. We'll close them. Quite spectacular. You have points making up the trees. Quite good. Let's have a look if we can maybe turn off, change some of these. I'm changing the imagery to be the base map. Checking on some of the properties. Just seeing if there's much information. I've clicked on the structure. It does have the elevation. Building height. And it does have the address. This is awesome. This is so useful to actually have the address of the building. I've seen various 3D buildings, and you don't often see those 911 numbers. It looks a lot better with the, rather than having just a regular topographic map or streets. It's much better to have the imagery. Gives it some context, some more context, some more color, realistic, photorealistic color. That's quite effective, I must say. And it gives details on the road and parking rather than, let's say, something like that. So if you're, let's have, what about imagery hybrid? I prefer just the imagery. Configure ground. Go back to layers. So it does take a bit to render those trees and tree canopies. Quite good. The building textures are not included like they are in the Montreal video. It's very time consuming to do that. But the speed of this is quite impressive. So let's have a look at, see if we can do some weather effects. Put some snow in Aspen. Yeah, that's pretty realistic. We'll wait for that to render. Slow it down a little bit. We'll add snow cover. Notice how that it doesn't add snow cover to the mountains, but it does to the rooftops. Let's zoom out. Again, very good speed. Let's have a look at these mountains. We'll just wait for that to render. Hopefully it does. Yeah, so quite good. Not sure what this is. It looks like a hospital or school. I do have two layers, Aspen Buildings 2020 and Realistic Buildings. Doesn't seem to make much difference. And the source of these buildings is LiDAR 2020. It's been generated from LiDAR. Maroon Creek Clubhouse. It's got the address. Orthopedic Care Partners. Aspen School District. So different layers that I can turn on and off. So we can turn off the buildings, turn them on. Let's have a look at the different trees. Canopy appears to be more effective. Let's zoom in and see the detail. And again, we are on the highest quality, so let's scale it back to performance. Very good performance. Very fast. I like the way the buildings are interactive, very quick. So we also have the shadow effect and the weather. So we can turn the snow off, make it a sunny day, go to daylight. We want shadows turned on. And you can see how by running through the day, the shadows will change. Quite a useful planning tool. If you're proposing to build a building, you could add the building into this layer and see how it's going to impact the neighbor's property. Or let's say you were planning an event, maybe in a park. Maybe you were going to plan an event close to a tall building. I don't see many very tall buildings here. Looks like an industrial building here. But let's say you were going to plan an event close by. Looks like a park right here at the edge of this baseball diamond. Maybe you were going to plan an event in here. Let's see if the shadows, see how they go. So you're good. So as you can see, once you get into 6 p.m., the shadows start appearing. And this would be June 15th. And then you get into 7 p.m. and the shadows would be right onto the baseball diamond. So really, it's not ideal for playing. I guess it would be okay to play baseball. But, sometimes you want shadows, sometimes you don't. This is the advantage of using the imagery rather than just, let's say, another base map, streets or streets at night. You actually get to see some of the other features around the buildings. For example, this nice football field, beautiful. But then you've got this building, rather large building. Let's see what that is. Yeah, the school board built next to this football field. And I've seen this before where fairly large buildings are built next to soccer fields or football fields, and they do have not drainage issues, but let's say snow or water will tend to build where the shadows are. So you might get half a field that's dry, and then a half a field that would be wet or very damp. I've seen that in Toronto. So let's go back and have a look at this. Go back and look at some of these shadows. In this case, you wouldn't have an issue. Let's change the date. So, as you can see, in October, just along the edge of the field, early morning, you would have some shadow. But I mean, it's not that bad. How about in November? See if anybody's playing football in November. They might be. Yeah. So that shadow in the morning, that shadow would be covering the field. So it would take a while. You wouldn't want to be playing it in the morning. Most of us wouldn't anyway. We'd wait till the afternoon. And it might take a bit for that field to dry up. Let's have a look at maybe in April. Let's see. Hopefully the snow will be cleared in April. Let's have a look at the impact of that building. No, pretty good. Pretty good. So somebody did the homework when they built that field. Very good. So that's what I've got to show today. There's probably more to it. Probably could get into more depth in using this software and this data, but I quickly wanted to show the way this looks, and I think it's quite impressive. I really enjoyed showing this. Hopefully you found it useful, and we'll see you again. Please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again. Thank you. Goodbye.